Hello, welcome back. Now, the Stranglers are one of music's most enduring rock bands. Jean-Jacques Brunel, the group's bass player and one of the founding members, is here with vocalist Paul Roberts. Paul's been a fan of the group since he was a teenager, and you remember the Stranglers from that time too, when you had hits like Golden Brown in 1981. What's your favourite song? Good morning, boys.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, that's a wonderful start to the day. How are you both?
Very well.
It's good to see you. Are you a bit tired?
Yeah, I can see both of you.
That's good. Well, I'm glad to see you both. Now, tell us about we saw the new single earlier on, and you've got things coming out. It's taken a while, though, to put it together. Is it a couple of years?
About 2 years, yeah. But I mean, we've had to. Hugh left the band, so we had to first decide whether to continue.
Right.
And then once we decided to carry on, to become a band again.
Right. Was it a possibility at one stage that you might have just sort of all gone your separate ways?
Oh, of course, yeah. We had to reconsider what to do.
Right. So why did you make the decision to keep going?
Well, Paul convinced us. He turned up one day. We were routining some new material, and he said, "I'm your new man."
Did you do
as
that?
Simple as that.
Yeah. Really? But that must have been a bit, I mean, that was a very brave thing to do, but is it something that you
A bit dangerous, actually.
I thought it was a bit dangerous.
Yeah, well, I've been following the band, you know, for such a long time.
Right. Had you known them beforehand?
No, I didn't actually know.
But you were a fan as such, or you enjoyed their music anyway?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Has it been hard to step into that sort of situation? Because, I mean, you've obviously known each other for years and years. It would be very tight-knit, I would think, and quite difficult to step into.
Well, once you're accepted in, you know, it's fine. It's worked out really well.
He knew the songs better than we did. I mean, he knew that he was a purist, so he knew the proper arrangements and the proper words, and corrected us on a few times. Arrogant little shit, really.
Listen, tell us about, because there was one concert that you played which was incredible. How many people was it in Estonia that you played to?
Oh yeah, about 110,000 about this time last year.
That is incredible. What made you go there in the first place?
Well, we were invited, you know, it's an opportunity not to miss. Right. Especially it was, I mean, the situation in the Baltic anyway, and I mean, we had, they were waving all kinds of flags, Union Jacks, Estonian flags, and they threw one hammer and sickle flag onto the stage, which was being completely desecrated. Yeah, and they were very, very drunk. There's some very strong beer in Estonia.
I would imagine there would be a lot of home brews and maybe wee places around the back of the houses.
Yeah, and the Finns come across the water, and of course they're always fighting drunk. They're notorious for that.
Well, that's you damned a whole nation. To a whole nation.
Well, they'd be very proud of that, I should think, actually.
Are they really starved of music there, though? Are they starved of all sort of things like that? Did you get an incredible reception from them?
Yeah, and they know an awful lot of the material because they've been surviving on a diet of bootlegs for years and years.
Is it very difficult for them to get the stuff in? I'd imagine it would be hard.
No, I mean, you can get anything you want over there. There's a black market. I mean, that's,
as long as you've got the money?
Yeah, it's a bigger economy than the regular economy.
Right. But that's something that, I mean, I would imagine, like, for a band like you, you're not going to really make any money doing something like that. You're doing that for the love of it, I would have thought. Not
really, but we came back with loads of souvenirs. So you'd have a Russian soldier in the middle of Tallinn, which is the capital, selling you, he'd come up to you, approach you, sell you his boots and his cap, and he'd walk off without any, you know, full uniform. He'd walk off without his boots and his cap.
Cool, it's an amazing experience.
And he's watching, I'm trying to, you know.
Is there anywhere else that you haven't played that you would like to play?
Yes, South America.
Right. That seems to be a lot of bands are going in there now.
I wonder why. Colombia, a lot of them get to Colombia.
I don't think we should get into that, I would imagine.
Well, it's just geography.
Yes, of course it is. Have you found, I mean, over the years now, are you in a situation now where you can more or less do what you want? Have you always been able to do what you want?
Well, we have done what we want, but whether we had the right or whether we're in a position to, not always, no.
I mean, presumably now that you're well off enough that you can just, you know,
I can feed myself.
Yes, and you can look after yourself. Do you still enjoy it though? I mean, it's been quite a while.
Well, yeah, but fortunately, with the with the new blood, it reinvigorates you.
Yeah. Did you must have sort of like just grown up with the band? When we were saying earlier on, I have. I mean, I remember all the older stuff like Get a Grip and No More Heroes. It was when we were at school.
Something a bit of change.
Yeah, you were telling me about that safety pin through your nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't go quite all the way. I didn't go quite as far as that. But your audience must have grown up as well. I mean, you must see a change when you're performing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the punks or the new wavers of 15 years ago are the bank managers of today and the Tory prospective Tory party candidates of tomorrow, and a lot of them are bringing their, the babies to be kissed. I mean, there's quite a few young ones as well.
Do you get the sort of
every year?
The fanatics at the front, and then at the back they're more sort of considered and sitting there going, yes, I quite like that.
Yeah, the cool ones at the back, and the berserkers down the front.
Yes. Well, Dora Bryan's with us. Sat there at the end. How are you? Now, Dora,
she qualifies as a berserker. She's got the energy.
I can see her.
I can see her. Actually, if I heard you, it's just that I haven't heard. I should go and buy a record of yours.
Yes, they got there. They had the greatest hit.
I'm not the top of the pops. I was on top of the pops.
You were.
I was, but that was. I mean, I don't think your mother was married.
After us.
What was that song? It was something about the Beatles. That
All I Want for Christmas is a Beatles.
Of course it was.
Of course, and it gets played still every Christmas.
Why is it we can imagine sort of a new arrangement coming up as we speak?
A dance
You don't need a new arrangement. It's one of those diggity, 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 all I want for Christmas is a beat. You'd have a lovely time backing me.
Wonderful, they would.
Wouldn't you?
I could see it
Tom
happening.
Jones can do it, you can.
Well, that's it.
That was great, that song, Kiss. I really liked that. Yeah, it was.
There was a very good series with him as well. I don't know whether you saw any of it on a Saturday night, where he was going back through the history of rock, and they had a really, really good backing band. And the thing that I'd liked about it was that he let every member of his backing band be an individual star and have their spot as well, which is very generous as a performer. You don't often find that. I mean, if you look back to your days when you were in support groups, Paul, I'm sure you can remember being in the background.
Have you heard Kanda and Ebb?
Who?
Kanda and Ebb, who wrote Cabaret, New York, New York. They're about to do The Kiss of the Spider Woman, and they wrote 70 Girls 70, the show that I'm in at the Richmond Theatre.
By a happy coincidence.
The Richmond Theatre. And it's the end of a 16-week tour.
And how much would it cost me for a ticket?
I don't know.
Oh, you'd let him in for nothing, now come on.
I don't know the price of the tickets, but
put me on the guest list.
my dressing room, I'll slip you through the parts.
They're doing Kiss of the Spider Woman, that's a brilliant
Yes, they're
film.
right. It's opening in October at the Shaftesbury, I think, with Cheetah Rivera, yes.
And what
They're great writers, actually.
What are you going to be doing next door after this? Are you going to have a rest?
I think I deserve a rest after 16 weeks touring around, because I am 67, you know.
You are 67.
And so I do need a little bit of a break, and then I'm doing pantomime in Eastbourne.
Right, so you just keep going and going and going.
Fairy godmother again. I'm either Genie of the Ring or Spirit of the Bells. They're all the same, really,
When you two are 67, do you think you'll still be doing Peaches and Get a Grip and still blasting it out?
I wonder if you will.
Certainly not, but I'd like to grow old disgracefully, definitely.
I think you will.
I don't think
there's any doubt that you definitely will grow old disgracefully. What are you doing next? Tell us in the time we've got left what you're...
We are about to tour, around worldwide.
That's right, because you're going to the Barrowland in Glasgow.
That's right.
It's a good one. I've seen lots of bands there.
Yeah, it's a stomping place.
It's really disgusting, and you can get,
And Manchester, won't you?
The floor really...
It moves,
really
it really does.
Can I briefly ask if you've mellowed, obviously? I mean, you look distinctly mellow as you're sitting here from your punk days. I hear that at the backstage at the Grateful Dead concerts these days, because they've all got kids, there are puppet shows and nannies and everything. So is it still disgraceful backstage at your concerts, or is it really all terribly tame like that, all nannies?
Backstage and you'll find out.
I don't need asking twice. Do we need asking twice?
We're there.
Come alone.
Well, Jean-Jacques, it is very, very good to see you, and Paul as well, and Dora. Great to see you. It's
nice to see you too.
It's a
lovely.
A billion and a half.
I should now go and buy the Stranglers. You haven't got a copy on you of the new LP, no.
We'll get you one, Dora. We'll get you one.
That's it. She's going away with a copy of Heaven or Hell, aren't you? Lovely to meet you all.
Great stuff. Now.